So here we have Justin running in Central Park. He's going slow on this first run. Let's check it out. So his weight is on the foot. He should probably be in pose right about there. His back is straight, which looks pretty good. But as you can see here, his left foot is well behind his body. He's in pose, so he's about 3 frames out of pose. He wants to only be about maybe 2 max out of pose. 1 to 1 would be great. So he's in pose position right now. He wants his next thing he wants to do, he's leaning a little bit. Looks great. Back is nice and straight. He wants to be pulling this right foot straight up under his hip. Let's see what he does. He leaves it on the ground, leaves it on the ground, leaves it on the ground. Still on the ground, and he's almost landed again. He's got to pick that foot up a lot faster. And now his foot is on the ground. His weight is on the ground. His GCM, general center of mass, is behind the ball of his foot. When his foot is weighted, he wants that GCM, basically his hips, to be in line over his ball of his foot. He wants his head to be over the ball of the foot, hips to be over the ball of the foot, everything. So because his foot is back here, because it was a late pull, his other leg had to compensate and is now forward. So that took so from when he has weight on his foot, so weight is there, we have 1, 2, 3, basically almost 4 frames, 3.5 frames till pose. He's got to pick that foot up a lot sooner. Let's go check it out when he's running a bit faster. Let's see how he does. So he's running faster. Looks alright. Looks like he's landing a little bit in front of his body. Let's check it out here. So his weight is there. His foot is starting to come forward. His head's a little bit forward. He's got to keep that head a little bit more erect. So now he's definitely got a lot of weight on his foot. His hips are still behind that ball of the foot. He's got to bring this leg forward. Got to pull a little bit earlier. So basically, he's almost in pose right here, another half frame. So let's see what happens. Once again, he should be pulling this foot straight up off the ground. It's still on the ground, still on the ground. Finally, the toes are off the ground, but this foot is almost ready to land, and his GCM, his hips, are well behind the ball of this foot that's about to land. And looks like he's pointing with his toes. His foot's out in front of his weight. Boom, he lands. Not too bad. His foot is still back here. Let's see if he brings it forward. Foot under the hip. About 2.5, 3 frames. Now he's in pose again. He's falling forward. He's got to keep that back a little bit straighter, get that head back a little bit more. It's definitely looking better when he is when he's going a little bit faster. But again, when you land with the ball, with your foot in front of the ball, when you land with your foot in front of your weight, you do initiate that braking motion. So let's check it out on grass, running fast. I believe his eyes are closed to get that sense of falling. Let's see how it goes. So eyes are closed right there. Look at that lean. That looks great. He's in perfect pose position. Should be pulling this left leg straight up off the ground, pulling that foot under the hip, and still his weight's back here. His foot's not there. It is. Now his weight is on the grass, fully on the grass. He still needs to get this pull up a lot faster, be pulling straight up. Definitely has a late pull. His posture looks a little bit better, but you can see here his butt is sticking out, which means he is afraid of falling. He's got to work on that fall. Keep everything in one nice rigid line. And now, right now, he's about in pose. So his head is above the ball of the foot. The hips are above the ball of the foot. Everything's in one nice, great line. He's got that nice lean. He needs to be pulling this right foot up off the ground right now. Nope, still on the ground, still on the ground, still on the ground. Now his foot is finally off the ground, but this one's almost ready to land because of that late pull. His other foot is going to compensate. Boom, now his weight is on the ground, and his whole body weight is back here. It's putting a lot of pressure on that on that front knee, and it's just not a very efficient way to run. Now more of his weight is a lot of his weight is still behind the ball of this foot, which is about here. So if I draw a straight line up, just the front of his knee, and maybe his face is above the ball of his foot. He wants this hip. He wants these hips above the ball of his foot, right about there. This is how he wants to land. Because of this pull, because of this late pull, he's not landing properly, and you can see he's straight over here, but his butt is, his rear is kind of sticking out. He's got to get more erect, more straight, pulling this foot up a little bit sooner. It's definitely better than when I first saw him, but he still has to work quicker feet, pulling